Good morning. My name is David Johns. This is my helper, Rob Hanlon. We both work at the small engine shop for the Pasco County School Board. I'm the shop coordinator, and today we'll be going over the 997 zero-turn mowers that you received and how to take care of them, how to work on them a little bit, and do the safety parts and make sure you don't get hurt as you're operating them. Okay. First thing we're going to cover is make sure you walk around the mower, make sure that you have no flats, tires that are gouged, anything of that nature. Make sure there's no foreign particles sticking out anywhere, wire that's hung up from the blades or from the rolling wheels. At that point, then we would like for you, before you crank it up, to check under the hood. You need to check all fluids, oil, coolant, and your belts and stuff like that. And we'll show you how to do that right now. Rob, you want to come in? Okay. Right here, you have your dipstick. You can pull out, you can check the oil level, wipe it off first, and then stick it back in and pull it a second time. That's the best way to do it. Look at your antifreeze level in your plastic bottle here. Make sure that you're up to full. If you're not, it's acceptable to put a little bit of water in there to bring it up because it's not very much. If it's completely dry, then you need to check and make sure you have any leaks or anything, because if that's dry, the antifreeze is going somewhere. You have a pop-off on your air filter right here. Take a look at it. It will snap all the way up and you'll be able to see it. Right now it's clear and it'll pop up to red when it needs to be changed. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you check your hoses. Make sure everything's not leaking. Check your belts, make sure they're tight. You have your hydraulic fluid, which is right here. Check it. All of these checks that you're doing right now are done before you crank this machine up. That way you can make sure everything is an operating procedure before you crank it up and have a problem, and that's the main thing. Plus, nothing is hot that you can get burned on it this time. When you shut the hood, make sure the hood sets properly and is lined up. And make sure that you get the latch back on good and tight. That way it won't flop off while you're driving. Okay, at this time we're going to do some maintenance parts. You got grease fittings. You need to grease the grease fittings that are on this mower, and you need to grease them every time you use it. You have grease fittings here on the front. You open the deck up, you have a grease fitting in here. There's a grease fitting down here that a lot of people don't get. There's a swing arm, and you can see it if you get down right here and you can reach it. But you need to make sure of these things that you grease them. And then check these wheels while you're down here. These plastic wheels, see a lot of them fall off. It's just a normal wear thing, but you need to look at them when you're mowing. Otherwise, you'll end up losing one and run over it. When checking your tire pressures, these are your rear drive tires. When checking them, it's wrote right here on the side of the tire the pressure they want it to be at, which is 20 pounds per square inch on each tire. Please check these and make sure they're at the right amount. It'll help you mow and your traction. And when checking your front tires, your caster wheels, it's all right here. It says never to exceed 35 psi. We try to run them around 30 pounds. That way you don't get quite as much bounce in the front end when you're trying to steer and ride across rough terrain. Right now, you've done your pre-checks, you've greased it, you've made sure everything under the hood is good, you've locked the hood back down tightly, your tires are all up, now you're getting ready to crank it. Another important thing is you never run this mower without these ROPs in the upright and locked position. Never. That's a good way to get hurt. Now at this time, we're going to have Rob get on here and we're going to go through what you're going to see and what you're going to go procedure-wise to crank this mower and operate it. Okay, at this time we're going to show you how to mount the mower and how to operate it. Rob, this is the correct way they want you to mount it, to step on from the front. Climb up and set down. Make sure that you have your safety gear in hand. You put your safety glasses on and your ear protection. Your ear protection at this point you might want to put around your neck because you're going to have to turn the key on and listen for a noise so that when it goes out, and you'll hear it when he turns the key on. At this point, let's turn the key on. And you'll hear the glow plug button. That's what you're hearing beeping right now, is glow plugs. This is what your dashboard looks like. Rob has his hand on the key, and this light right here, there's a squiggly line and a light. When that light goes out and the beeper goes out, the mower will then be ready to start. There's a slight hesitation when you first turn the key. So give it a second and it'll crank up and go. At that point, the mower's running. This is your throttle. You can throttle this up. This is your blades. You pull this yellow knob up to kick the blades in. Make sure that you're not at an idle. Don't rev the engine all the way up and pop the blades in. Go up about halfway, pop the blades in, then throttle it on up. Because that can be stressful on the belts if you pop it in at full throttle. It will do it, but it's recommended just to go at a lower speed, pop them in, and then rev it on up to make sure you can move. This, again, is your blade adjustment. Use your button to raise it up to take the stress off of it. You can do it manually, but it's a lot easier if you push the black button on the left handle to raise your blades and set your blade height for mowing. These are the drive handles. You can push them forward, back to neutral, pull back to go forward or back. If you want to turn, same thing. Right one, push it forward, turns to the right. Push that one, turns to the left. You can steer this mower front or back very easily with these handles. Getting used to them and the way they work. Get on them and work with them. That's the best thing that you can do, is get used to this mower. When you get used to it, you'll be able to mow around anything. Park and brake is the orange handle to your left. The fuel gauge is also over on the left side, where Rob's hand is right now. Working ability, you can't beat these mowers for mowing. It'll make your job easier, and if you take care of it and maintain it the proper way, it'll last for a long time, saving you time and the school board. Okay. Rob at this point has the mower running and is preparing to operate it. First thing you do is pull the park and brake off. That's the orange lever to your left. And then you'll pull the handles in. They might be a little stiff, and even stiffer now since they're new. A newer mower, the handles might be a little bit stiffer. You have a button on each handle. The red button shuts the mower down. The black button will raise the deck up. Okay, while pushing the black button on the left handle of the mower, you will be able to turn this knob and adjust the mowing height to the correct height that you want. And looking through the window right here, you can see it has numbers in there, and just turn it to the correct setting and then turn the button loose. And the mower will adjust to that height. At this point, you're ready to mow. Make sure you run the mower at high speed. The motor runs the hydraulics. So you control your speed with the levers, not with the RPM of the engine. So rev it up and then get used to moving it with the levers and controlling it. At this point, Rob's going to demonstrate how to do a left and a right turn and how the handles on the mower work. If you push the left handle forward, it will turn to the left. If you push the right handle, it will turn to the right. This makes this mower very nimble and very maneuverable. You can cut up close to things. You can go around things. Of all things, practice with your mower. Take it out in an open field first and mow around in an open field. Get used to the controls, how they operate, because pushing forward will make it go forward, pulling back will make it back up on either handle for either direction. You can also pull one back, push one forward, it'll do, that's why they call it a zero turn. It will actually turn in a circle. But getting used to these mowers and how they move and how they are very touchy, you don't want to get up close to something until you practice with it first. And if you practice, you will like these mowers. They are very, very good. A few safety reminders on this mower when you're operating it, you're out in the field, you're mowing. The park and brake is very important that you have it on before you crank it. If the park and brake is in the up position on this particular mower, if you pull these in before you take the park and brake off, the mower will die. Don't panic. You can pull them right back out, start the mower up again, then push the park and brake off, and you can pull them in and it will mow. If the park and brake is in the down position, when you go to crank it, the mower will not start. So first thing, if you're out in the field and you get off of it and you have to do something and you get back on it and it won't start, first thing you want to check is make sure that the parking brake is applied. And that might take care of your problem without having. If you do have a problem after that, give us a call at the small engine shop and we'll be more than happy to help. Okay, at this time, Rob's getting ready to mow on our mower. He makes sure he's got his headgear on, his eye protection is on, he's got his gloves on. There's a seat belt that you see him reaching for right now that he puts on. This is very important because on these mowers, they can turn so abruptly and on a slope that you could fall out. So if you put the seat belt on, make sure yourself is strapped in and you're comfortable. Also, as you're operating, make sure, it's very important, make sure the ROPS are in an up position and locked. And at this time, Rob's going to crank it up. He's going to do some mowing. He's going to mow on a slope. So we'll give you an idea of what it'll do, and you can see how maneuverable these mowers are. Or something of that nature, or a small cement. You can also take the black button on the left side and hit it and hold it, and it will raise the deck up and hold it up as you go over. So you don't have to change your deck height at that moment while you're trying to cross over. Now at this moment, Rob's going to start mowing. He clicks his blades in. The engine was at half speed, and then he revs it right up to full throttle, and he uses the handles to control the speed and the direction. It's very important to get used to running it at full throttle and control your speed with the handles, because when it's up to full speed, it's running full hydraulic pressure, and that's what drives the wheels and the mower deck and everything. So being careful, as you can see, it handles a curve and an edge very well. It handles a slope, takes some getting used to. When Rob gets to the end, he tools the handles and does a spin around and comes right back over. And mows right back over it. On these particular mowers that you're operating right now, you have a rear eject. And that is very nice to have because it doesn't throw grass back on you. It's throwing it out behind the mower instead of out to the side. And it doesn't dig in on the edges as bad as some mowers do, and you people have operated them, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, at this time, you finish mowing, let the mower set and cool down. At that point, wash the mower off, get the dirt off of it a little bit because you don't want it to be grimy and stays on the surface. Then we're going to take and we're going to show you how to clean out. This is very important. Rob, you'll come around the other side. We're going to show you how to set this hood off, completely off this mower. And you really need to do this because this is very important in keeping the radiator system clear of debris. You go up and back. It's that simple. And then just set it down. Okay. It's very easy. These pieces right here are what locks in there. Going back on, you really need two people to do this. One person can take it off, but when you put it back on, lining things up, you really need that second person. It's not that heavy, it's just awkward. At this time, you're taking an air hose, or some people have taken their handheld blowers or their backpack blowers, and they blow this area off. This is the radiator. You want to keep this clean. Also, you see, a lot of people don't know about, take this wing nut loose, pull this out of the way. We've had a lot of radiators come in with overheating problems, and they're like, no debris. Right here will be solid packed. Make sure you blow this part out and this part out and keep it clean. It can cause a radiator and overheat situation as you're taking the mower. Okay, at this time, you've cleaned the radiator and all out. You got that? You do that after every mowing. I can't stress that enough. That will save this mower because grass builds up a lot. Take your hand blower while the hood is off and blow behind the wheels. And down in here, all in here, blow it out. Grass accumulates in there, and if you let it set, it will rust and rot the deck. When you open your seat, if you will reach in with one hand, right behind the seat, there's a black lever that runs the length of the seat. Grab it, pull up on it, grab the back of the seat, pull it forward. This is the lever right here. And then pull it forward till it latches. It will latch and lock into place. These are the hooks. That's what you're unhooking. And that is, at this time, is when you clean this out. cleaning the mower, making sure you get the debris out from under here will save the life of the mower. These mowers are expensive. School board buys them so that you can have a piece of machinery that will do a job much easier for you and be comfortable while you're doing it. So if you'll do your part and help clean it up and take care of it, we'll certainly try to do the small engine and keep you going. We just wanted to show you real quick what the inside should look like in here. This is not how it should look. See all the grass building up on the battery, on the deck, back in this area by the wheels? If you can, blow it off or take a water hose and just wash it off. Knock it loose, get it off of there. That can cause problems. It can cause battery life shortage. It can cause all kinds of rust on top of these. This is the transmission. You cause all kinds of problems with that. So if you can, make sure you pull this seat and clean under here. This is a new mower, and you can imagine they've only probably got about 15 mows on this. So you can imagine if you mow all year long and you do not clean under here, it's a mess. And it can cause a lot of trouble and a lot of headaches for you and for us. And if we work together and you do the cleaning, we'll try to make sure all the mechanics on. If you break, something does break, we will fix it for you. But make sure you clean under here. It's very, very important. That way you can keep the battery terminals clean. You can put protectant on them. Make sure you got good connections. That way you're not left trying to mow and all of a sudden your mower won't work. Good tip for you. Whenever you're cleaning your battery terminals, I know a lot of people don't take them loose and everything. If you will simply mix up some water and baking soda, put it in a can or whatever that you can just pour it onto those terminals, it will clean them right up. Pour it on, you'll see it fizz up and everything, and then just take a water hose and wash it off, and it will clean them very well. It's the same thing we use in the small engine department on the golf carts, and it works extremely well, and it's really easy to do. At this time also, there'll come a time when you pull this hood off, and it is, believe me, a lot easier. Pull the hood off to change the oil. At that point, you can really check your belts, make sure everything's tight. Your oil plug is on the bottom. It's a 19 millimeter. You'll get a pan, put underneath it, break it loose, pull it out, let it drain. Your oil filter is right here. You'll unscrew it and screw the next one on. Clean the surface of where it goes. Make sure that what you might see every now and then is the rubber off the oil filter will stick to the block. Make sure that surface is clean, and then screw the new filter onto it with a light coat of oil on that filter's rubber. Okay. Getting your oil in your oil filter. You can get the oil filter from the small engine shop. Send me a 129 just like you order parts and tell me, David, I need an oil filter. Oil you can get from the school bus garages. This is an MIS 129. Your plant managers already know about this and will be more than happy, I'm sure, to supply you one. Or you can tell him to fill one out and get your whatever parts, supplies that you need from small engines. We supply oil filters, fuel filters, air filters, all kinds of parts. If you will contact us and with this right here and send it to us, we will get them through the couriers to you or deliver them to you if they're too big. Anything that you need, just about. I mean, just give us a call, fill this out and send it to us. We'll get it handled. Okay, we're going to go back to the oil filter changes you're doing now. You've drained the oil on it and you've cleaned the plug back off and you put it back in the pan. You've tightened it. You've changed the oil filter off of it and you put it back on. At this time, on the top of the engine, there's an orange plug, and you pull it out, get a funnel, and pour 4 quarts of oil into this mower. That's what it should hold. At that point, wipe everything, make sure it's clean, put the plug back in it, and tighten it up. At this point in time, check your air filter. Cap pops off right here. There's 2 clips, and it comes right off, and you can pull the air filter out and take a look at it. Make sure it's clean. Air filters and stuff, if you need that, you can get them through the small engine shop by sending the MIS 129 in. Good tip for you. Whenever you're cleaning your battery terminals, I know a lot of people don't take them loose and everything. If you will simply mix up some water and baking soda, put it in a can or whatever that you can just pour it onto those terminals, it will clean them right up. Pour it on, you'll see it fizz up and everything, and then just take a water hose and wash it off, and it will clean them very well. It's the same thing we use in the small engine department on the golf carts, and it works extremely well, and it's really easy to do. That's good. Okay, at this time we're going to go over jacking up the mower, taking the blades off, and sharpening them. everything will be covered in sections. That way you can go to whatever section you need. At this point, we've got our jack in place. We've pulled the mower forward up onto the two platforms that have to be on. The front wheels are in them. Your parking brake is off. Do not have the parking brake on because the mower has to be able to roll forward as it jacks up. The drive tires will actually roll. This particular mower has a very stiff hydrostatic motors underneath it. So don't jack it up real fast, jack it up slow and allow the mower to come with it. You'll know if you're going too fast because you'll see it wanting to pull, the jack will actually kind of want to pull away from it. So jack it up slow. Rob at this point is going to step up here and jack it up. He's adjusting this latch right there. You let it down. This is a self-latching mechanism on this jack so that when it goes up, it will actually act as a jack stand so that it can't fall. You'll watch as it goes. It'll drop down on each one of those little platforms. And when it does, right then, it will lock. If it was to fall, it would hit that and it wouldn't fall any further than that right there. And this jack that we're using works very well with these mowers. Several schools I know have bought them, but this can save you a lot of headaches getting underneath this mower, jacking it up and changing the blades. The higher you can get it, the better you are. Because as some people have already found out, car jacks don't necessarily pick it up high enough. Okay. As you notice, the lock fell into place. This mower is locked in this position now. Even if the jack was to go bad, it wouldn't fall on you, and that is very important. The size of the nut we have underneath there is a 15/16. That's what you will need. We recommend using an impact wrench. You can do it by hand, but it's a lot of work. And the air impact wrench will work very much. Small compressor with a 1/2-inch drive, 15/16 socket. You take these blades right off very easily. This underneath here is a proper set of blades with right cutting edge and everything on them, and how they should look whenever they're properly serviced and sharpened and on. As you can see, they have good wide cutting areas. Now with that said, this is an improper blade that has went way beyond what they're supposed to. As you can see the difference. This is where you have to sharpen your blades. This mower was probably leaving direct areas it was not cutting as it was cutting around. Having the right blades and getting them sharp and keeping them sharp is very, very important, especially sharpness. Because instead of cutting grass, you'll be beating grass down. And that's hard on the mower and on the blades as they're under there. One. Okay, right now Rob's jacking up on it. He's taking the latch off, putting the hook on it. And then this is a 2-stage drop down. If you step on this pedal lightly, it will drop down all at once. If you just hit it all the way down, then it goes down slowly. See? There it comes. There you go. Okay, at this time we're going to show you how to sharpen a blade. To start with, when you take your blades out from under your mower because of sand and debris and just time, your blade will probably have a rounded edge on it instead of a good smooth cutting edge like this. And what you're going to be trying to do is put that cutting edge back on it. And sometimes, because you got divots in it, you have to grind those divots flat and start from scratch. And in that case, you always put them in a vise. And I'm going to let my mechanic here, Rob, take over. He does this all the time. And he'll show you the proper way to sharpen this blade. And this is a new blade, so we'll go from there.
You take your blade, and you'll tighten it in the vise. Then you'll just take your grinder and run it back and forth at the proper angle until you get a sharp edge on the end of the blade. Like I say, the sooner you sharpen it, the less time it's going to take for you to get that angle and get it sharp. If you let it go too long, you have to take a whole lot off of it. The blade's not going to last as long, and it's going to take you a long time to get that sharp edge back. The sooner you do it, the better, and the quicker.
And at this point in time, let me point out, and Rob always does this, make sure when you're doing this, because you're working a grinder, that you wear eye protection, ear protection, and hand protection, because you are working a high-speed grinder and it's throwing metal off a blade. This can be very dangerous, so make sure you protect yourself. Always try to make sure when you first start grinding what direction the metal's being thrown in, so you're not grinding towards yourself. Make sure the metal is going away from you as best you can. Also important, whenever you're grinding, make sure the area that you're grinding in doesn't have any flammable liquids. It's going to throw sparks. This is a nature of the beast type of thing, so when you're grinding, it's going to throw sparks. So make sure there's nothing flammable around the area that you're doing it in. And if you do these things and follow instructions, you should be fine. And at all times, you always know that you can call the small engine department, and myself or Rob will be more than happy to work with you and help you learn these techniques to get this done. Okay, good afternoon. My name is David Johns. This is Rob Hanlon. We work at the small engine shop for the Pasco County School Board. Our extensions can be 45561, that's the phone, and 45540, that's our fax. We're here to help you in any way we can. We supply parts from filters to blades to belts, whatever your mowers, golf carts, tires, anything that is needed for equipment that you need, we will try and help you get. We are always here for you. We're glad to help you. We will do any way, picking stuff up. We pick stuff up for you. We deliver it. We take it around. If you have any questions about things, there's no such thing as a dumb question. We would prefer that you do call us. If you don't understand a piece of equipment, how to work on it or how to work with it, call us. We will be more than happy to go out there and help you with this. We have another gentleman who rides around in the truck. Most of you know him, named Rob Folick. He's another young man. He will help you in any way. If you have a question, ask him. He will be more than happy to help you. When you're working on your equipment, make sure if it's a major repair or something you're not sure, please call us. We would really prefer to pick it up and check it. I know a lot of you people out there feel that you're capable of doing this. We feel you are too, but sometimes when it comes to delivering parts out to you, we send you a battery and you really needed 3 batteries and 2 cables. We pick it up, we will check it and everything, fix whatever needs and bring it back to you. Do not tear it apart also. If you pull the charger out of one of the golf carts and we have to put it back in, bolts are lost and stuff. So make sure that if it's a major repair or you think it's going to be a major repair, please contact us and have us pick it up. We'll repair it and bring it back to you at a speedy pace that you should be happy with. And we appreciate the fact that you have confidence in us. When you're looking at your golf cart, your lawnmower, any kind of piece of equipment, a good way to remember it is you service it. You change the filters and the oil and stuff. We repair it. So if it's broken, call us. Don't try and repair it yourself, because that's what we're here for. Thank you.